When Season 3 was announced for WWE SuperCard, as you can imagine, there was questions thrown everywhere. First of all, we had, will my cards transfer over to Season 3? And I still use my cards I got from Season 1 that are still in my card catalogue. Literally gathering rust, doing nothing because of Season 2. Oops. Is Money in the Bank going to be a thing in Season 3? Are we going to have King of the Rings? Are we going to have team events? The list goes on and on and on. But the question that's been asked the most, and I mean literally hundreds of thousands of times, is when is Season 3 coming out? For example, just go into my comment section and you'll see at least 5 or 6 times. JB, when's WWE SuperCard Season 3 coming out? You go on my Twitch streams and you see people everywhere, left, right and centre. When's Season 3 coming out? There was even a guy who subscribed to me on Twitch. Yes, he paid actual money to subscribe to me and called himself JB, when is Season 3 coming out for WWE SuperCard? It literally got to the point where I'd have at least 100 to 200 mentions per stream of when Season 3 coming out, JB. At times I felt like literally cowering, like I had my hands up going, guys, I don't know when Season 3 is coming out, leave me alone! But today I can finally tell you when WWE SuperCard Season 3 is coming out. Not only when it's coming out, but also some of those new features, new game modes. Literally, if I tried to cram all this into one video, I think I'm going to fail, but I'm going to give it a go anyway. There is a lot to talk about. I'm going to get into it right now. That date. We don't have a specific date yet, but I can tell you roughly when I believe it's going to come out. All I know is that today they have finally announced that SuperCard Season 3 will be released in November. And if you haven't seen the video that confirms this already, go and watch Luge's video where she found out all this awesome information. Go check it out. I'm going to link it in at the end of the video so you guys can go watch it. But knowing a date is good, but what about all the other stuff that comes with Season 3? And since that, there's been a bucket load, a skip load, a mountain load of information that has come out, which we're going to talk about and we're going to digest, break down, and literally give to you guys, hopefully, in some kind of format in under 10 minutes. I'll try. There's a lot to go through. New stuff, stuff that's returning, stuff that's not returning. There is a lot to go through and we're going to start it right now. So the first thing to go through, as I can imagine a lot of you are going to be asking, is how is Season 3 going to work? The Season 3 is not going to work the same as the last season. Let's just not talk about that. Season 2, Season 1 never happened. Just kind of a disaster that's not worth talking about ever again. And the way Season 3 is going to work is going to be a brand new update that's going to hit the app. It's going to be probably a very big update where it puts in all the new stuff that you are expecting for Season 3. And that update is going to hit, we believe, mid-November. And mid-November, I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction now that it's going to hit between the 15th and the 16th of November. Possibly even before that, but I would say the week before Survivor Series. I believe that the new game will come out with a PCC immediately following, which will be something related to Survivor Series. It's probably going to be the big match rumoured between Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. Now, Goldberg has said that he is going to take on Brock Lesnar, and he will take him on as one of his last matches, if not his last match. I don't think it's going to be his last match, but apparently the rumours are it's going to happen at Survivor Series, and if that's the case, they have to do a PCC straight away. Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. It has to happen. Let's go into the tiers. Now, how are you going to start WWE SuperCard Season 3? You're going to start SuperCard Season 3 exactly where you are right now. So my tier is SummerSlam++. That means I will start Season 3 in SummerSlam++. And I'll move up from there into 3 new tiers, which are going to be set up from the get-go to, I imagine, be the next level of competition to go up. Now, we don't know what those are, but I would imagine as if you was to expect your existing cards to operate similar to ultra rare fusions and then have an epic, a legendary, and then a survivor tier on top of it to commemorate Survivor Series. But on saying that, let's look at how that's going to work, because one question, as I mentioned earlier on, question people are asking a lot is, will my existing cards work in Season 3? Well, yes, they will. The way they're going to work is that you're literally going to continue where you were, as I mentioned just now, which means all of your cards from Season 2, yes, will transfer over to Season 3, which means you can still use those with as little fuss or as little interruption as possible, so that you just keep going in the direction you're going with your Legendary tier, Survivor tier, WrestleMania tier, and SummerSlam tier. I imagine that there'll be some ways, just like it is now, to boost yourself up to new tiers, whether it be Money in the Bank, whether it be PCCs, whether it be Road to Glories, whether it be the new game mode that's coming out, which we're going to talk about in a moment, called Royal Rumble, another big thing that's coming to WWE SuperCard. I wasn't lying to you when I said there was going to be a lot to cover off in this. The other thing as well is Money in the Bank will carry over into Season 3. Big thing that, yes, your existing contracts transfer over. Also things like King of the Ring, PCC, Ring Domination, Road to Glory, and also Exhibition will transfer over and work as normal. And we haven't heard anything about the Fusion Chamber yet, but we would assume that the Fusion Chamber transfers over as well, given that the cards are going to be able to be worked in the game. Well, I just imagine that Season 1's Fusion Chamber will disappear entirely as soon as Season 3 comes out. On that subject about Season 1, my only recommendation to you, if you haven't done this already, is to go to the feedback team. You go to the settings button at the bottom of the screen, go down to feedback, you hit the card issues button, and then immediately you'll be taken to request an email, which you send to them with all your Season 1 cards, and they'll automatically give those back to you. The reason you'll need that is because you will be able to use any cards you gained in Season 1, which I'm going to show you some of mine now from WrestleMania tier. As I'm just going to go through this right now, you'll be able to use any WrestleMania cards, Survivor cards, Legendary cards, any cards you got in Season 1 in a new game mode called Wild. Now, Wild game mode is you're going to be able to use Season 2, Season 3, Season 1 cards. It's going to be awesome. They've described it as a way of having a no DQ mode as such. I'm actually reading this directly from their website. Basically, you're going to be able to play with any of the cards you've got, and it's completely open competition. It's effectively Exhibition as it is now, as far as I'm reading into it. For Season 1, that is where the interaction ends. That is the only way at the moment, as far as what's been confirmed, that Season 1 cards are going to be able to be used in Season 3. Moving on to Season 2 cards again, you'll be able to use those in any game mode that's available, whether that be Road to Glory, whether it be King of the Rings, whether it be anything to do with any of the game modes in Season 2, which then leads us down to the new game mode, the Royal Rumble game mode. A Royal Rumble sounds like a competitive mode of Money in the Bank, very similar, but I would imagine it's a lot more than that, and you can use all of the cards you have instead of just specific ones. Now, just to explain how Royal Rumble mode works from what I've seen, you have 15 cards, you put those in your Royal Rumble deck, and then you fight against other people live. When I say live, Royal Rumble mode is going to be, for the first time ever in WWE SuperCard, and there are some people who are going to be really happy about this, PvP. What does PvP mean? PvP means player versus player live, which means you are playing live against someone else at the same time. That's just freaking amazing. So at the moment, you play against AI. In WWE SuperCard, you play against the computer. The only kind of modes you have some kind of human influence is when you play against the AI, where people have changed their decks, or in team modes, where people can change their decks and also contribute towards points. You are going to be able to compete against other people in other parts of the world live via this Royal Rumble game mode. Now, this is going to require a little bit more strategy. More news about that when we get it, and I would imagine there'll be some kind of system like Money in the Bank where you get build up lots of different credits, or potentially lots of, I don't know, something to do with contracts where you have game cards at the end which you can use to increase your deck level or improve your deck overall. Now, the next big game mode has been put in is very similar to Royal Rumble, and that is something called Ranked. Now, at the moment, if I go into Exhibition, I will see people I can play against whenever I want to. Now, it seems that Exhibition is going to become Wild, which I mentioned earlier on. That means, whereas if I play a game right now against Steven, me and Steven are going to play a game where I choose cards and his AI chooses a card. Now, with this new Ranked mode, I'm going to be able to choose a card whilst he chooses a card at his end, which means that I know that he is actually making live decisions that could affect the outcome of the game mode. Whether that means we'll see changes in Season 3 with how many cards are available. The idea overall is that this then allows people to have a ranking system in place. Thanks to the game, Stephen. But the overall idea of this ranking system is that at the end of each month there will be prizes. Now I hope, and we don't know yet if they're unique prizes, but I hope that some of these prizes, especially for the guys who are at the top, are going to be these unique cards, unique images, the ability to have unique backgrounds for cards, stuff that makes them stand out. It looks like this is going to be something similar to what EA have done with FUT Champions, where you play for a certain period of time and you fall into a certain bracket, and if you fall into that bracket or that rank, then you can then claim awards. Plus you get to pull cards off the board, and it has been confirmed that you'll be able to pull any of the current Season 2 cards off the board. The only cards you won't be able to pull off the board are Season 1 cards. Another big thing that people are going to be asking is about team modes. Team modes are going to carry over to WWE SuperCard according to their Twitter, but unfortunately, and I'm warning you guys now, your teams will disband. Automatically, they are going to remove some of the inactive teams. They're going to get rid of those, get rid of every single team, and when Season 3 starts, you can start a brand new team from scratch, which hopefully won't cause too much disruption, but there's going to be a couple of people that get affected, so I'm warning you guys now, your teams at the end of Season 2 will disband automatically. Hey, sometimes it's good to be out with the old and in with the new. Like me getting 10 points in the most recent RTRTG because I was busy recording videos. Yeah. Now one last thing to mention about Season 3 is that these 3 new tiers which are going to come in are going to host over 100 new cards, which in fairness is very similar to how SummerSlam tier and Legendary tier started initially, so it's something I imagine they'll add to afterwards. My only request, if it can possibly be heard, is to make throwbacks pullable from the board the moment they come out and make fusions a regular thing tier on tier. If they can make that happen, that'd be freaking awesome. So let's just have a review about what we spoke about just now. First of all, Season 3 is going to be a brand new update. There is no new app, it's just an update that comes out and it updates straight away into your Season 2 onto WWE SuperCard, which then you get Season 3 and you start from there. You start in the existing tier you're in so far and move on from there upwards into 3 new tiers, which include over 100 new cards. Season 3 is going to be coming out mid-November as far as we are aware, and I'm going to be guessing it's the week before Survivor Series. There are 3 new game modes. Wild, which you're able to use Season 1, Season 2 and Season 3 cards in, which is no DQ, anything goes. Ranked, which is the first PvP mode, player versus player, live gameplay against other people across the world, which is going to be freaking insane, with monthly rewards, and hopefully those rewards are unique to the players who get them. And then you have Royal Rumble mode, which is going to be something similar to Money in the Bank as far as I'm seeing, which is going to be 15 cards upon someone else's 15 cards, and yes, PvP again, with, I'm assuming, some kind of awards very similar to Money in the Bank. Talking about Money in the Bank, all the existing game modes that currently go on, we haven't had confirmation on team modes yet, but teams are going to carry on into Season 3, means that all the game modes like King of the Ring, Exhibition, which turns into Wild, PCC, Ring Domination, Road to Glory, Money in the Bank, King of the Ring, and yes, that question I'm asked all the time, your contracts that you have in Money in the Bank will carry across into Season 3. You'll be able to pull Season 2 and Season 3 cards from the board. Season 2 cards are not going anywhere. However, with team events, your team will be disbanded and you'll need to make a new team as soon as Season 3 hits. Done for now for information. Let me know what you thought about the new details. All the exciting new things that are coming to Season 3. I cannot wait. I'm going to ask you to like this video, to share it on with other people, and also to hit a leg drop on the subscribe button, because that would be really awesome if you did that. And then if you go into the description, you can find details for my Twitter, to follow me on Twitter going forward. Also, Discord, Instagram and Twitch to watch me live stream Season 2 events, and then Season 3 goes live. And I'm done. Thanks so much for watching. See you soon. And one last thing, and that is to sleep!